Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is your boy Kuro, and I hope that you are having an amazing day today, okay? Because I know that you deserve it. I know you've been working hard, you've been grinding, you've been doing your very best, and you deserve to have a good day today, okay? I hope this video helps to make your day a little bit brighter, and if it does, you can always return the favor by dropping a like, maybe a sub, a comment, any of that good stuff. Jab the shit out of that notification bell, so you don't ever miss a future video. So today, I am going to go ahead and bring you guys a look at my updated version of my Magic Templar build for the Blackwood patch that I uploaded last week. I didn't really feel like that one was everything that I wanted it to be. I didn't feel like it was my best work, and I felt like it could be better. So that's what I did. I went in, I made some changes, tested some stuff, and I made it better. I feel like it's 10 times better than it was before now. It's tankier, it's got more damage, it's got good sustain. I feel like it's got better sustain than I had before, but maybe I'm just bugging. And it's just all around, it's really fun to play, it feels great, and I feel like this is going to be my home for Magic Templar for Blackwood, okay? And we're going to go ahead and talk about why. If you do like the build, you can catch me playing this build and many others live over at twitch.tv/KuroyukiESO, where I stream just about every night, starting at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are a late night owl like your boy, come hang out. You can also join my Discord, link in the description, pin comment, all that good stuff. We chat, we chill, we talk about builds, we talk about other stuff, updates for my videos, my Twitch, all that crap. It's all there. Anyway, that's enough with the tomfoolery. Let's go ahead and jump on into this build video right now.
Insanity, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Fire attack him. Fire attack. Get him. Get him. Oh, the poison proc. It's over. It's game over.
Alright, so we're just going to go ahead, dive right on in here by buffing up. Go on to our front bar. As you can see, we've got 30k mag, just about 30k HP, 20k stam. We've got 4.6k spell damage with just our self buffs. We got 34% spell crit. I ignored that. We are using a spell power pot right now. I don't usually use them. I just can't use entropy. And I think we got some scroll buffs as well. So we've got extra crit that's not valid, although it is quite nice right now. We've got 13,500 magic recovery. The other recoveries are not too great, but they are not important either. We have 31 spell and 27 physical resistance. Again, those numbers are slightly buffed, but they are about 30 and 26 usually, and 15,700 critical resist. That's all the important stats. Oh, our penetration on our maul is 12.4k at all times, and it does go up. Spell damage does go up. Recovery does go up. Armor does go up. Everything here goes up while we are in combat, so you can't really judge it just by looking at the stats, but the stats are actually pretty solid the way they are. And you can get them to go higher as well. I've just made some choices myself that you may not even need. But yeah. For the race, I am a high elf. I am a stage 3 vampire, and I am using the Atronach Mundus. If you want more damage, you can definitely go with the other one, the spell damage Mundus. That'll give you more damage, more healing, and I'm pretty sure you'd be able to sustain it. I just haven't tried it yet because I'm pretty comfy with this, because I do feel like I have enough damage as is, but it's definitely an option if you'd like to try it out. And yeah, that does it for the stats. Take a look on over at the gear. If you watched my last video on MagPlar, you'll recognize this set, Heartland Conqueror. It's a pretty big deal this patch, I think. A lot of people are trying it out, and I have sworn by it since the moment it became a thing. Very big fan of it. If you don't know what it does yet, it gives you weapon damage and spell damage, as well as max magicka and max stamina. Very double dippy, very sexy. And it continues to be double dippy here with the increase the effectiveness of your weapon traits by 100%. So what that does is that takes the 3226, I believe, penetration of our maul and doubles it to 6552. Very strong. So that is basically spinners damage on our front bar. Slightly less than spinners because we are missing the line of mag and maybe almost 300 penetration, but it's very comparable damage. And obviously spinners is not like the go-to damage set, but it is good damage. It's very solid, and we do complement it with some other stuff. But again, with the double dipping that I talked about, it also buffs our back bars trait, which is cool because it gives me powered for 18%. That is just about 20% extra healing on my back bar, which is very, very nice on a Magicka Templar. On our resto, again, main hand, that is a Maul for more pen with a weapon and spell damage enchant. You can put a damage enchant on there if you want to, but I do like the weapon and spell damage enchant just to give my initial burst a little bit more of a punch. You know, if I'm kiting a group and I turn around, hit them with a heavy attack into a crescent sweep, the heavy attack will buff it, the spell damage will buff it, and it'll feel real nice as it grinds against their skulls. Resto staff is a very big, important part of the build. Definitely like it. The heavy attacks give us a lot of sustain. It gives us major mending, gives us all sorts of good stuff. Using a Resto staff lets us use rapid regen, which is very important. And blocking doesn't even work anyway, so an ice staff or a sword and board isn't really all that helpful anyway. I'm using drain health poisons on my back bar. What this does is it applies 2 damage effects and 2 heal over time effects. This will give you offensive pressure as well as defense at the same time. So again, we're sticking with that double dipping thing that I was talking about before. I don't know what the hell is going on in the background here. Someone is messing with me, I guess. So enjoy that light show. But yeah, these, you know, you can have the here's the thing. Here's how you make them. We are using Balorg. My traits and weights are not ideal right now. This is supposed to be heavy. Ideally, you're going to want 5 heavy. 2 light, I believe, would be best. Could go 4 heavy if you're feeling frisky. Your light pieces, though, are going to want to be your waist and your hands. We're just going to go ahead and get that out of the way. So you'd want a heavy helmet here. But again, we're using Balorg. I'm sure you know what Balorg does. Everyone does. But in case you don't, it gives us weapon damage and spell damage, again with a double dipping. And when we use an ultimate, we do gain weapon and spell damage equal to the cost of the ultimate that we used. And we gain 23 times that in spell and physical penetration. So if we've got 100 ultimate and we use that, that's 100 weapon spell damage and 2,300 penetration. If you've got more than that, it starts to become a real big deal, okay? Imagine 5,000 penetration just handed to you on a silver platter, very easily, very quick, okay? It's nice, it's very strong, very, very powerful offensive set. And this with our already decent penetration from our Maul and our set gives us a lot of extra damage. And of course, we are using the Pariah because it's meta right now. I usually try to steer clear of metas, but honestly, this one is just, it's not super cheesy. It's a good set. It doesn't really offer a whole bunch of extras. It's just, here you go, have some tonk, okay? You pair this with Stage 3 Vampire, which we get the Undeath passive, which makes us take up to 30% less damage the lower our health gets. And as we take a beating, we take less of a beating, okay? They slap you around, and you're just like, go ahead, do it. I can take it. I can take it. Keep hitting me. Please, keep hitting me. And yeah, that's how it works. Very good set. Combo as well with the Vampire, and combo as well with MagPlar, actually. Because MagPlar's, the way you gotta play MagPlar is you have to commit to your kills, okay? You gotta get in there, and you just gotta start sweeping. You gotta start sweeping until your arms fall off. And this set helps us do that. Lets us stay offensive longer before we have to go onto our defense and heal back up. And with MagPlar's need to commit to the kill, that is very important. So again, we got the Balorg shoulder. We have the Heartland Conqueror's sash. We do have the heavy gloves of Pariah. This is all Pariah. Again, this is not ideal. I will explain what you should do. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do heavy chest of Pariah, heavy legs of Pariah, okay? Then you're going to want to have 3 Pariah jewelry. I just didn't have transmutes, so I bought what I could, and I used Heartland Conqueror jewelry. We're going to talk about those in a second. But you're going to want to fill in your Heartland here with a light sash and light gloves and heavy sabatons of the Heartland Conqueror. So it's going to be heavy, heavy, light, light, heavy, heavy, heavy. On your 3 big pieces, your chest, legs, and head, we're going to use triglyphs, and then everything else is going to have Magicka glyphs. If you want a little extra health, a little bit of extra stamina, but you want to sacrifice some mag, you can go all triglyphs. Kind of pricey, but it's not really that big of a sacrifice for some extra health, I think. The health is the real big deal. It wouldn't be too much extra health. It'd be maybe close to 1,000-ish. But it's nice. It's nice. And the extra stam is always nice as well. So down here to the jewelry, I am using 1 infused with a reduced Magicka, reduced spell cost here. This thing is crazy. I never listened to them before. They always told me reduce spell cost is the way to go for sustain, and I said fuck off. I was wrong. I was in the wrong. Okay, this thing is awesome. After putting this on, I feel like all of my sustain issues are taken care of. I have better sustain now with just this and the recovery Mundus than I did with Eternal Vigor. It's crazy. The reduced cost is OG. You gotta try it. And then we do have 2 Swift. This is to give us some movement speed, especially while we are in our mist form, so we can stay a few steps ahead of the bad guys that are trying to crush our skulls. That's never fun, so you want to move faster than them. This is optional. If you don't feel like you need the speed, go infused here and get a little bit of extra spell damage. If it's a gold, you'll gain 200 extra spell damage right there, just from that change. But I do feel like the movement speed from this is beneficial to my kind of 1vx playstyle that I typically try to go for, so that's why I'm using them. So yeah, that's it. 2 spell damage on that with the reduced cost. If you still feel like you need more sustain, throw a recovery on, throw another reduced cost on, do whatever you gotta do. You're still gonna have plenty of damage thanks to our pin, thanks to our battle org, and you're still gonna be quite tanky thanks to Pariah. So that's it for the gear. Taking a look at the skills that I have chosen to use, we'll start with the back bar here. We got Honor the Dead. We're gonna go ahead and buff up. Take a look at our Honor the Dead tooltip. We got just about a 20k Honor the Dead tooltip on our back bar. This is very, very nice. Not to mention you can get Major Mending from popping a Resto Heavy, get another 16% on top of that. That's a very big tooltip. Okay, I've hit myself with like 15, 16k crit Honor the Deads in the middle of fights before. It's crazy thanks to the powered back bar. That's why I swear by the Heartland powered back bar, because you can get such fat honors when you really need them. Super, super useful. Love it. This is burst heal. You can heal your friends. Probably heal random people you don't want to heal, because that's MagPlar. That's what it's about, baby. Healing yourself below 75%, whatever, restores some of the cost over a couple seconds. Very nice. Helps sustain a little bit. Then we got Elusive Mist. This is our get out of jail free card when it works. It's very helpful. You go into Mist, take a lot less damage. We are a high elf, so we take a little bit less damage again. I think 5% less from the high elf passives. So we're getting a lot of damage resistance while in this, and we're getting some speed. The fact that we have that Swift on makes us move even faster in Mist. The thing about Mist is it gives us Major Expedition, but it doesn't allow us to sprint. That is kind of the thing that makes Major Expedition really good, because you get Major Expedition, you can throw Sprint on top of that. Now you're moving 60% times speed, 1.6% or 1.6 times speed, whatever. Very helpful. With God damn it. With Elusive Mist, you're just moving at sprint speed at all times. People can keep up with you. It's not hard. So that's why I like the extra movement speed on top of that, just to get a little bit of a leg up on the slower classes. Channeled Focus, this is our armor buff. This is a sustain buff. Costs almost nothing, and it's also a heal over time. Let's buff up again, just so we can get a look at what the heal over time is on that. It's not crazy. It is 2.2k health if you're standing in it. 9 times out of 10 you're not going to be standing in this, but it's helpful. Cleansing Ritual, do not use the other one, use Cleansing. This one gets rid of 5 harmful effects, puts a big old healing circle down on the ground, which heals us a decent amount every 2 seconds. Again, helps us with our offensive pressure, because we can go on to our front bar and have this extra healing. You typically want to make sure you're fighting inside this at all times. If you got to turn around and start poking somebody because they're climbing in your asshole, drop this first and stay in it. If you are being attacked by 16 dot builds, well, you're probably dead, but you're going to want to use this a few times to get those dots off you, and Godspeed and good luck. Rapid Regeneration, again, we're going to buff up, just so we can see these tooltips. 34.3k over 5 seconds. That's hot. That's a lot of healing. Again, when it's time to go offensive, drop your circle, pop your rapid regen, turn around, light attack, start poking people. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It's done, okay? They're gonna die. You got all that extra healing, now you can go offensive. Life Giver. This is our ultimate on the back bar. This thing is nuts. As you can see, 16.4k health every 1 second. We're not fully buffed. That'll go up. That's gonna go higher. 17k health every 1 second for 5 seconds. 5 seconds isn't a lot, but it is enough to rip someone's face off. And the fact that we are wearing Balorg turns this into an offensive ultimate as well. Because if we are getting pounded on, and we've got, say, 200 ultimate saved up, but there's a lot of people, you can pop this Life Giver and be unkillable for 5 seconds, but gain that 200 ultimate worth of spell damage and penetration to go offensive with. So that's why Balorg is such a good set for outnumbered in 1vx. And I also am using Balorg because someone in my comments decided to tell me that I need training wheels because I'm using Engine Guardian. So we're releasing a build without Engine Guardian. What do you know? On the front bar, we've got degen. This is a nice strong dot for single targets. Sorry I keep doing this buff thing, but I do want you guys to get a better idea of what this stuff's going to look like. This is 12,000 damage over 11 seconds. I don't have my Mage's Guild leveled all the way up. This will be a little bit higher if you did. Sucks to suck, but it is what it is. Again, this is our spell damage buff as well as a dot. You want to keep this up at all times if possible. Toppling charge, gap closer, stun, sets off balance, interrupts. Extremely loaded skill, kind of pricey. Don't want to spam it too many times, but very, very good. It's our main stun, and it also has a very important function. This thing helps our sustain tremendously, and a lot of people don't understand that. When you set someone off balance, your next heavy attack restores a shit ton more resources if you do it to an off-balanced opponent. So if you don't have any stamina left in the tank, topple in, hit him with the heavy attack, your stamina bar is now just about full. Same thing with your magicka bar. Topple in, set him off balance, hit him with that heavy armor, resto staff heavy, you just gain 50% of your magicka back. It's insane. Definitely keep it in mind when you are playing this build. If you have an opening to get an off-balance heavy attack for either resource, do it. You will not regret it. Solar Barrage. This is a nice AoE dot, which is good at revealing Nightblades and Cloak, which I feel like is pretty much necessary right now. Very, very helpful to have. It gives us our minor spell damage buff as well for a 10% bonus, and it gives us Empower, making our light attacks clack heads just a little bit harder. Very nice. You can hit 3-ish K light attacks with the 2H on this build, and they do feel very nice. Radiant Glory. You could use either morph of the Radiant here. I do prefer Radiant Glory because getting the additional health while you're beaming people, again, like I said, Templar needs to commit. Sometimes you gotta hit somebody with this whole fucking beam to kill them, okay? The first tick, second tick, not gonna do it. Sometimes they need to take all the ticks from this. So the fact that you're getting healing while you're doing it lets you beam them longer with less threat. Because instead of sitting there like an asshole with your hand outstretched, blasting someone with light while you take no healing but all the damage, you can die that way. I have died that way using the other morph. Sometimes this little bit of healing right here saves your life. Definitely recommend it. Puncturing Sweeps, you know what this does. This is our main spammable. It slows people, it hurts people, it tickles them a little bit, it heals us as well. So again, offensive healing, very, very nice. There's not really much to say about this. It's an AoE. It hurts. It's very, very good when the game is working. When the game is lagging, this is the worst skill in the world, and you'll hate yourself. Crescent Sweep is our ultimate. Go ahead and buff up again. Here goes with the buffs again. Oh my god. We're getting a 10k tooltip on this. Hits 60% harder for the people in front of us. So about a 16k tooltip if we're actually looking at the guy we're trying to kill, which is pretty good. It goes up, obviously, when we use our Balorg, which will affect the cast as well because of the way the cast times work and all that good stuff. So you're going to hit pretty thick crescents, especially if you've got 100 or more ultimate saved up. Won't regret that at all. Crescent's a good ultimate. Pulsating AoE dot around you after you cast it. Rips faces. It procs, what's that called? Burning Light. Amazing ultimate. You could be a weirdo. You could use Dawnbreaker or Smiting. I don't have it unlocked, but I've seen some MagPlars doing that. Not a bad ultimate. There's a lot of vampires out there, so they'll take extra damage from it. Definitely a valid option. Get you an offensive stun on a group, which is also very helpful. They're both valid. Crescent Sweep, I think, is better for MagPlar. Dawnbreaker, still good if you want to use it, if you've got it. And that does it for the skills. We'll talk about some flexes real quick for skills and for gear. For Solar Barrage, If you do not want to use Solar Barrage, you could get yourself a crit buff by running Reflective Light. This will give you a nice persistent extra 12% crit, which isn't going to do a whole lot for you, but our crits do hurt because we are a Templar, so the extra crit might help. It is also, again, an AoE. It hits multiple people. Okay, this applies to multiple people. It's not really stronger than either of our other dots, but it is a dot. Applies to multiple people. It gives us a spell damage buff as well, because it is in this skill line, as well as a critical buff. And it actually does have an initial tick hit too, so that can crit. And sometimes that'll hit someone for 3-4k, and that'll surprise them. Definitely pretty good. And it also slows people down by 40% for 5 seconds. That slow is pretty helpful at times. You could also get the other morph of Solar Barrage to Dark Flare, which will debuff the healing on somebody, as well as burst them pretty hard. That is another really good option. If you want to get more healing in the build, you can replace something on this front bar with Living Dark. This will give us a nice strong heal over time when people hit us, and when I say nice strong heal over time, I mean a damn nice strong heal over time. 4.3k if we're on the back bar here. We're going to get that 18% extra healing. 4.7k every 0.5 seconds that we get hit. So it's a really good staying power. You can use that if you want to be a really tanky son of a bitch, but lack a little bit of damage. This also will proc your spell damage buff though. They just won't give you an extra dot. You could even, if you wanted to, sacrifice your potions and use spell damage potions, you could work any of these other skills here onto this slot, and then just use the spell damage, spell power potions from PvP to get your spell damage and your crit, though you would suffer in the health and stamina department. Just figure that out on your own. Lots of ways you could run this front bar. Back bar, I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't leave it. I just leave it the way it is. It's good. You could try Rapid Regeneration and Living Dark instead of Honor the Dead. That is a very valid playstyle that I do use quite often. I just feel like with the way Burst works right now and the fact that everyone is ripping your fucking mouth from your face and throwing it back at you constantly, having a strong burst heal is pretty helpful. But yeah, that is it for the skills and the subs in for the skills. For monster sets, we can talk about this real quick. You can use Engine Guardian. I love Engine Guardian. It's probably my favorite MagPlar set. Battlorg is the best for damage by far. You could also use Pirate Skeleton right now. This set, this will make you a whole lot tankier. You're already extremely tanky, and this will just make it worse. You're going to get some extra armor, and it's got a, what is that, 75% uptime on minor protection, which is 10% less damage taken. And the only thing you trade in for it is Minor Defile, which is 8% of our healing lost, but you'll still have plenty of healing with it up. So if you want to be a really tanky son of a bitch, throw this on. You will, of course, suffer a little bit in the damage department, but you can make it up through a few other sources. You might not need the speed from the Swift, so you can go ahead and change those to Infused and get more damage that way to make up for it. That is definitely an option. And last choice I would say would be Blood Spawn. Also a tanky option, except for not anywhere near as tanky as Pirate Skeleton. Gives us a little bit of stamina recovery and lets you get your ultimates faster for that utility. Very good set. And that is about it for subbing in monster sets. Let's talk about CP. We're going to start with our slotted ones. Slotted, I have Focused Mending, which is single target healing. That's our Honor the Dead. That's our rapid regen. I have Master at Arms, which is our direct damage. I have Biting Aura, which is our AoE damage. So these two both buff our sweeps and our crescent. None of our dots are getting buffed or any of that stuff, but those are just there to supplement the build as opposed to be the main focus. We want our sweeps and our crescent to hit hard. Those are the two most important things, so that's what we are buffing. And then I have Unassailable for AoE damage reduction. I use this instead of the single target one, because even though Nightblades and Sorks hit incredibly hard, you can react to their stuff. You can block surprise attacks, you can cleanse off curses, you can block frags, but what you can't do is you can't do anything about things like caltrops, ground-based dots, Destro ultimates, you can't really do shit about that besides not be in it. So reducing that is very important. Reducing Dawnbreakers, which again are going to hit us a lot harder because we're a vampire, very important. A lot of the stuff that actually kills you in PvP is AoE. You can't dodge AoEs. You dodge roll, it's still going to hit you. You block, you can block some of them. But the dots, the AoE dots, they're still going to hit you. So mitigate those. I was using crit resist not worth it. When it comes to the passives, honestly, with the way CP works, you can just get all the fucking passives. Just go wild. We're only going to talk about slottables. Slottables over here. I've got Juggernaut. This gives us 10% damage reduction while we are CC immune. Very helpful. If we get stunned, we can get up, take a lot less damage, and go offensive. I am using this one here, which gives us extra magicka and health recovery while we are CC immune. This helps out our sustain exponentially. Rejuvenation, this is 150 extra magicka, stamina, and health recovery at all times. Again, very, very helpful. And then we're using Boundless Vitality for some extra health. In here, again, you can pretty much get all of these. Priority, you're going to want Defiance to reduce break free cost. Tumbling, very helpful. Mystic Tenacity, I just have it because I had points. You want the health one for sure. Let's see, cost of sprint. You don't really sprint too much. All this stuff over here, this is all optional. Pretty much all of these passives. These ones are the ones you want. Stealth Detect, I don't know why I have that. You want the health, you want the cost reduction for break free and for dodge roll. Those are your priority passives over here. Priority passives in here, I guess, would be the ones in this little tree. You want to get your offensive pen, and you want to get your weapon spell damage added to your attacks. I guess the max mag as well, and the max stam. In the green tree, nothing really too important here, but I do highly recommend the reduced fall damage, as well as these two top green CP, the extra mount speed, and the mount stamina cost thing. I don't have it right now, but that's because I'm a dumb fool. Lastly, we're just going to talk about potions. 3 potions I recommend having on you at all times while on this character. You want tripods. Very, very helpful. These give you all of your resources back, as well as buffs to all of their recoveries. The health recovery is useless, but the stamina recovery is a nice little boost. Same thing with the magicka recovery. And you want some form of detection potion, because there's way too many damn Nightblades out of here, and we gotta hunt them down. Gotta hunt them all down, gotta skin them, gotta put the skins on our walls, okay? No more Nightblades, get rid of them. You want something. Anything that gets you detection. I don't know what the recipe to these is. If I find it, I'll put it on the screen. If I don't, I'm sorry. And then Alliance Spell Droughts. These can be very helpful if you don't want to use Entropy, or if you just want to get the spell critical buff added to the build without putting the skill on your bar, so that way you can do a little bit of extra damage through crits. They're easy to grab with some AP, and they're a nice little addition, and they can let you mix things up. Food. We're using Bewitched Sugar Skulls because all that extra resource is nice. You could use Clockwork Citrus Fillet if you don't trust your sustain, but you will want to go all Triglyphs so you've got some more stamina to work with. And you may even end up wanting to put some attributes in the stam, because you're going to want at least 14 to 16k stam at the lowest to be safe. But yeah, the extra health recovery, or magicka recovery here, is very helpful. You can throw on a different Mundus if you want to use this instead. So those are options, but that's about it. And that is about it for the build, guys. I don't have gameplay for you this time, no commentary. I'm sorry, I don't know if you guys care about that or not, but I'm not going to give you guys any of that right now, because I did just post that last week. I will get some more commentaries out for you for my DK for other classes pretty soon, but aside from that, that's it. Okay, that's all I got for you. That's the build, that's some information, that's some options, all that good jazz. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here now. Thank you very much for your time, for your love, for your appreciation. I love you. Have a great day. Goodbye.
I could follow you,